All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to go beyond the hoodie and talk about what hacking really is. You know, it's so much more than just breaking into computer systems. It's a whole mindset, one that shapes our digital world in ways you probably don't even realize. So let's get right into it.
Okay, so let me ask you something. When you hear the word hacker, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I'm going to bet it's something like a person in a dark room, hoodie up, staring at all those streams of green code, right? That's the classic Hollywood image. But the truth is, that's just a tiny, tiny piece of a much bigger and honestly way more interesting story.
Yeah, the reality is, it's a whole spectrum. Hacking isn't just one thing, and hackers are definitely not all the same. We're talking about a huge range of different motivations, different methods, even different ethics. And if you want to truly get a grip on the digital world we all live in, you've got to understand this spectrum.
So, first things first. Let's just make sure we're all on the same page here. Before we start talking about the good guys and the bad guys, we need to nail down a solid definition. What does hacking actually mean at its core?
Okay, here it is. At its very heart, hacking is just making a computer system do something that its creators never originally intended. And what's really important to notice here is that the definition itself is totally neutral. See? There's nothing in there about good or bad. It's all about creativity, ingenuity, finding a way to solve a problem, even if it's an unconventional one.
And believe it or not, the meaning of hacker has changed a lot. You know, back in the 60s and 70s, if someone called you a hacker, that was a huge compliment. It meant you were a pioneer, someone super smart who was pushing the boundaries of what was possible with technology. But then, of course, computers became, well, everything. They started storing our money, our secrets, our entire lives. And that's when the word hacker started to get that darker, more sinister feeling that it has for a lot of people today.
All right, so let's dive into that spectrum we talked about. Because this is probably the most important thing to get. Not all hackers are the same. Not by a long shot. In the cybersecurity world, they've come up with a pretty clever and simple way to tell them all apart.
And here it is, it's all about the color of their hat. I know it sounds like something out of an old Western, but it's a super effective analogy for understanding a hacker's motivations and what their goals are. It really just comes down to that. What color hat are they wearing?
This chart lays it all out pretty clearly. Let's start at the top with the white hats. These are the good guys, the heroes of our story. They work defensively, they always have permission, and everything they do is completely legal. Now look all the way down at the black hats. They're the exact opposite. They have malicious intent, they never have permission, and what they do is flat out illegal. But then you've got the gray hats in the middle, and this is where things get really interesting. They kind of operate in this murky gray area. They'll find security flaws without permission, which is illegal, but their motives aren't always bad. Sometimes they're just curious, or maybe they even want to help, but they go about it the wrong way.
And it doesn't just stop with those three colors. The spectrum is even wider. You have folks called script kiddies, who are basically amateurs using powerful pre-made hacking tools without really getting how they work. Think of it like someone firing a powerful weapon without knowing how to aim. And then you've got hacktivists. These are people who use hacking skills for a cause, to push a political or social agenda, not to make money.
Okay, so we've met the players, we know the who. Now let's talk about the how. What's actually in their digital toolkit? Let's take a look at some of the most common ways they get in.
First up is phishing. And I guarantee you have seen this. It's that sneaky email that looks like it's from your bank or a text message about a package you never ordered. It's all designed to trick you. And here's what's so clever and so dangerous about phishing. It doesn't attack the technology. It attacks us. It exploits our human nature, our instinct to trust people.
Next, we've got malware. It's short for malicious software, and it's basically the catch-all term for all kinds of nasty stuff. Viruses, spyware, and that really scary one, ransomware, that can lock up all your files until you pay a ransom. The second this stuff gets onto your computer or phone, it's game over. It can steal your passwords, watch what you're doing, or even give an attacker total remote control.
And that brings us to social engineering. You can think of this as the art of the digital con artist. It's so powerful because, again, it just sidesteps all the technical security stuff and goes straight for our emotions. It's usually a simple three-step trick. Step 1, they pretend to be someone you trust, like IT support. Step 2, they create this huge sense of urgency, like your account will be deleted in 5 minutes. And step 3, they use that panic to manipulate you into breaking the rules and giving them access.
And the list just goes on and on. I mean, the toolkit is huge. There are highly technical attacks like SQL injection, which lets an attacker pull information right out of a website's database. There are password attacks that can guess millions of passwords every single second. And, when you're on that free Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, an attacker could be running a man-in-the-middle attack, sitting silently between you and the internet, listening in on everything you do.
Okay, that's a lot about the attacks. It's kind of scary, I know. But let's flip the script. Let's talk about the defenders. We're going to see how those exact same skills can be used for good and why these ethical hackers have become some of the most critical people on the planet.
Just look at that number, millions. Let that sink in for a moment. That's how many cybersecurity jobs are sitting empty worldwide. It shows you just how massive and urgent the need is. There is a huge global shortage of people with these skills. The defenders are in very high demand.
And this right here, this is the core difference. It all comes down to mindset. A criminal hacker and an ethical hacker might use the exact same tools and techniques, but their goals couldn't be more different. One is trying to break in for their own selfish gain. The other is trying to find those same weaknesses so they can fix them and make everyone's defenses stronger.
And make no mistake, this isn't some lawless Wild West. Ethical hacking is a serious profession with a really strict code of conduct. It's all built on a few key pillars. You have to get permission first. You have to keep any information you find confidential. You have to report what you find to the company so they can fix it. And, most importantly, you have to operate with integrity and always stay on the right side of the law. Okay, so we've covered the what, the who, and the how of hacking. For this last part, let's bring it all back home. Let's talk about why any of this actually matters to you in your day-to-day life.
Look, if there's only one thing you take away from all this, please let it be this. All the fancy security software in the world can only protect you so much. Your single strongest defense is knowledge. Just understanding what the threats are, knowing the tactics they use, and being able to spot the red flags, that, right there, is what will actually keep you safe.
So, we've pulled back the curtain and gone way beyond the hoodie. You know about the different colored hats now, you know the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. You've seen some of their most common tools, from phishing scams to nasty malware. So I'll leave you with one final thought, a question not for me, but for you. Now that you know all of this, how well defended is your digital life really?